Boom! Happy Sunday, guys. It is Tom Clark over at TFC IV MMA, and we are here the morning after UFC Orlando, guys. What an awesome fight night. Definitely the best, if not second best fight night of the year. It's right up there with that first London card. Guys, it was great fights from right to the beginning to the end, being one of the best fights of the year so far. And let's just dive right in. I went great on my picks last night. I only got two wrong. I had picked Nico Price over Phil Rowe, and that didn't pan out. And then my only other wrong pick for the night was the next fight as well, where I picked Kyle Dawkins over Eric Anders, and Eric Anders got it done. Very impressive performance by Anders, especially, like I said in my breakdown video, I thought he won his last fight, so he went out there and said, this one's not going to the scorecards. I'm not letting the judges get involved this time, and he put on an awesome performance. But let's just get started right at the beginning of the card. We started with two phenomenal knockouts, so it started off very well with Yasmin Uruguay put on an awesome performance, knocked out Estela Nunes, and just, oh my goodness, she hit her pretty hard, hit her like a Mack truck and put her out. Very impressive performance from Uruguay. I think we all were the odds were in Uruguay's favor. I picked her in my pre-fight. I just thought, I thought she would get it done, and I didn't think she'd get it done that emphatically, though. She put on a great performance, so very impressive start to the card. Speaking about someone I thought would get it done, but not in that fashion, Francis Marshall. I mean, you could call him Francis Ngannou for those couple seconds with how damn good that knockout was, guys. It was very impressive. Rojo had a great first round. I mean, it was close. Marshall did get him down near the end of it, if I remember correctly, but Rojo was having success on the feet, but Marshall went out in that second round and put his lights out, guys. Very impressive performance, and just a great fight overall. And speaking of great fights, we can dive right into the next one, where Natan Levy beat Genaro Valdez. Guys, what an awesome fight. I mean, Valdez was hitting Levy with some great shots. Levy was answering right back. I know in the beginning portion of the fight, Levy was having the spin attacks. They were all working. Obviously, as the fight went on, the cardio kind of drained a little bit, but he did enough to get the job done, guys. He was coming in about a 2-1 favorite, so he made it a competitive fight, but he also got it done. And then talking about another guy that got it done, Jonathan Pierce put on a good performance against Darren Elkins. Do I find it, how crazy is it that Darren Elkins in these fights just keeps getting dropped, keeps getting battered, but he's still so tough to finish. I mean, Cub Swanson put him out, but other than that, Darren Elkins is always going to be a guy that's tough to put out. They call him the damage for a reason. The dude can eat some damage. The dude's a psycho. He'll be covered in blood and still keep going for you. So it was, it was a good performance for Pierce. I'm kind of bummed he couldn't finish him, but pretty dominant all across the board for Jonathan Pierce there. Another one, I told you guys coming into this week, for the money, for the betting where it was, I thought Michael Johnson was far too good in this fight to be a plus 260, and he showed that. I mean, DeCasey didn't really have too much success with the wrestling. Michael Johnson controlled the feet. I think it was a pretty clear 29-28. I think one judge had it 30-27, and I thought that was a little nuts, even though I was rooting for Mike. But yeah, he got it done. Got the decision win over Mark DeCasey, and it's a good win for Michael. I thought he won his last fight against Jamie Malarkey, so I was happy to see him get the nod on this one and put on a good performance. As we're speaking about close fights, Clay Guida, Scott Holtzman. Pretty good fight all around, guys. I thought Holtzman was having a little bit of the success on the feet, but the takedowns are what won Guida the fight. It was a split decision. He may have not done too much with the takedowns, but I think when the striking's relatively close, as it was, that Guida's takedowns are what won him the fight. And yeah, it was split, but I think it was the right call. And that's unbiased too. I know I had him in my picks. It makes me look better when the guy I picked wins, but I think it was definitely close. Could have went either way, but I'm okay with Guida getting the decision. Speaking of another underdog cash-in, I had a few of my friends message me, you're really going Angela Hill on this one? Ducati's look great. You're really going to go Angela Hill? And I said, yeah. I said, Angela Hill's just been in there with everyone. She always puts on a fun fight. And Angela Hill went out there and does what she did best. She put on a good fight and just, it looked like a school session. Angela Hill was teaching her a little lesson there and just completely dominated the fight. I mean, the volume was crazy, outlanded her by a crazy margin, and got her way to a decision. Clear win on her part, and very good performance by Angela Hill. Like, people don't realize how many killers Angela Hill's fought in that division. She's fought in everybody. So I thought with a little bit of step down in competition, she'd do pretty well. Like I said, I had some buddies. You really picking Angela Hill? I said, yeah, I think she gets it done, and she did. It was a great performance on her part, and I was very impressed. Talk about, I don't know if you call it a great performance or if you just call it chaos, but we knew Nico Price was in the fight. We knew there was just going to be some crazy stuff going on, and that's exactly what happened with him and Phil Rowe. I mean, I thought Rowe clearly won rounds 1 and 2. Nico Price had some success going to the body, but it was Phil Rowe's round. Round 3, Nico Price comes out and just empties the tank. And I thought for a second, he was going to get Phil Rowe out of there. He comes out there, he's smacking him up, gets him to the ground. It kind of looked like Phil Rowe was knocked down, or if he tried to pull guard, it was a real weird look. Nico gets on top, hitting him with elbows, hitting him with everything. And I frankly thought he was going to get the finish. But Phil Rowe comes back, guys, gets up and puts Nico Price's lights out. I mean, he wasn't knocked out, but he was out on his feet, guys. It was a good stoppage. Nico Price took a lot of damage there at the end. And then Phil Rowe goes on to give one of the best post-fight, I don't know, call it the best, but one of my favorite post-fight interviews, guys. I mean, like, I think I mentioned in my intro, my dad passed away from cancer, and seeing how tough he had to be to go through that treatment, to go through all that kind of stuff. So when Phil Rowe said, I've seen the things my mom has had to do, no one in here is as tough as her. That really resonated with me, because seeing what my dad went through and seeing him try his hardest to go through, like, I'm really praying for Phil Rowe's mom. I hope she can get through this. She's a warrior. She's stronger than any of us can ever dream to be. And so I hope she's able to pull through, and I'm glad she got to see her son put on a great performance last night and get the win. Speaking of great performance, we go right into the main card. Eric Anders, Kyle Daukaus. Daukaus coming in was like a minus 225, and like I said, I could see why the odds were what they were. Anders had looked very complacent in his last couple fights, but I did tell you that he could definitely come out here and do it. I thought he had won his last fight, and he came out here and he did it. He was cracking Daukaus. In the first round, knocked him down. In the second round, kept cracking him. I almost think it was too soon for Kyle Daukaus to come back. I mean, going into it, I didn't know. I said, it's been, when was that fight with Dolidze? April? So I thought, maybe it's been enough time. Nope, not at all. Eric Anders was hitting him with some great shots, and hey, maybe Anders is that powerful because we know he packs some power, Alabama linebacker, but I mean, Daukaus was just going down every time he was touched. He was getting knocked down, trying to pull guard, and it was not his best performance, let's say that. I mean, the Daukaus brothers broke onto the scene very dominantly, and both guys have had quite the fall from grace as of late. I know my buddy Zach's a Philly guy, so he's not going to like that, but it's kind of been a tough fall from grace. I'd love to see both the Daukaus brothers get back on and get some W's, but let's see if it happens. I think Kyle's definitely the more talented of the two, so I think he'll have time to bounce back. But let's see how it goes. We'll talk about an awesome performance, guys. Jack Hermansson, Roman Dolidze. I told you guys in my breakdown video, this was a huge step up in competition for Dolidze. Let's see how he handled it. And in the first round, I mean, it looked like he was kind of struggling with it. We all know Jack Hermansson can put on a pace and keep that pace for 3 rounds and keep that just output going. And he was calf kicking the heck out of Dolidze in the first round. Dolidze showed some great strength on Jack's takedown in the first, but he was able to get back up. But I still would probably give the round to Jack, just due to the output, the high kicks. They weren't landing too much, but they were almost landing, and those calf kicks were really adding up. But then in the second round, Dolidze goes out there. He transitions from a calf slicer, takes the back, and just starts pounding. Finishes Jack Hermansson. One of the slickest moves I've ever seen. I think it was John Anik said on the broadcast. He said, every gym Monday morning is going to be training that move because, oh my goodness, it was brilliant. Went straight to the calf slicer, and as soon as Jack gave up, he rolled him over, took the back, and just started pounding him, put him out. Very impressive performance for Dolidze. Like I said in my pre-fight breakdown, I know it was a step-up competition, but I thought he was going to get it done, and he does with another big, well, it's not a knockout like his last fight where he put put Hawes out cold, but I mean, it was a TKO and a very good performance, and he'll be top 10 coming in this week. That's a huge jump for him, and I'm excited to see how he does. I hate the call out of Khamzat Chimaev. Not smart if you ask me. I mean, why are you calling out a guy that's going to be fighting a weight class below you, trying to get the belt there? And even if Khamzat does jump up, which I don't think he will, I think he's going to go get the belt at 170, then go up for double champ status. He ain't going to fight number 8, I'll guarantee you that much. He'll fight a guy at the top. And so I don't really like the call out from Dolidze. I think if you had called out maybe a Derek Brunson, someone like that, say, hey, you ran from Jack. I just beat him. Let me get you. Let me take your ranking. I thought that would have been cool doing something like that. But hey, you can't blame the guy for trying. Chimaev's obviously the money fight in those two divisions. He's a big fan favorite, and if you don't love him, you hate him. So you're either going to pay to see him dominate someone or pay to hope he gets dominated. He's got that effect, so he's going to be that cash cow for a while. So you can't blame guys for calling him out. Talking about more madness, Sergey Pavlovich, Tai Tuivasa. I mean, we all knew this was going to be quick. We all knew it was most likely going to be in the first round. But did any of us expect it to be under a minute? I mean, goodness gracious. Sergey Pavlovich, what a guy. We all knew he had power. But like I said in my video, I was picking Pavlovich, but when you rock Tai, he's going to start swinging. And I said, Sergey needs to be really careful. And he was. Tai got hurt. Tai was swinging hooks. Pavlovich ducking his head. Showed great head movement, great control. And oh my goodness, he cracked him. Like I said in the pre-fight too, I thought it was a little quick for Tai to come back. And I don't know if another 6 months would have helped him at all with the shots Pavlovich landed. He was putting it on him. But what a fight. What a great performance by Pavlovich. I was texting one of my buddies last night. My buddy was like, give him the damn title shot. I said, we're getting Jones-Ngannou. So realistically, the next heavyweight title fight after that won't be till next late summer, early fall. So I said, give him maybe Cyril Gane, Curtis Blades, one of those guys, and I think that would be a good fight. I honestly would like to see the Blades fight. I want to see how Pavlovich, like we all saw what Overeem did to him. So give Pavlovich a wrestler. See how he does, and see if his takedown defense has gotten better. And I think that would be the good fight to make. But Cyril Gane also, I'd like to see that one. I mean, Tai Tuivasa was able to knock Cyril Gane down. Obviously, Cyril recovered very quickly, but Pavlovich is far more tactical. He's got that big old reach, so Cyril Gane would be a real good one as well, maybe a 5-round main event. Speaking of another good knockout, we got Mateusz Nicolau versus Matt Schnell. I told you, Schnell can always pull a rabbit out of his hat, as it seemed as of late, and Nicolau was just the better guy last night, guys. Like I said in the breakdown, I thought he was going to be better on the feet. I thought he was going to outclass him, probably to a decision. I didn't expect the knockout, but oh my goodness. Every time he was hitting him with that left hook, he was getting him, and then he puts him away in the second round. Dominant performance for Nicolau. I thought it was kind of crazy in the first. I think he probably could have finished it in the first with ground and pound, but he was letting Schnell up, which you can't blame him after Schnell is crafty with those submissions. And it paid off for him in the end with getting the knockout in the second. So a great performance for Nicolau. And it'll be excited to see where he goes from here. I mean, I believe he was number 6 ranked, I believe. And so it'll be exciting. He'll probably get a top 5 matchup soon. And the flyweight division, let's see how things go with Brandon Moreno posting a picture saying waiting for justice. The dude's siding with James Krause on this, so heck, we may get Pantoja Figueiredo in Brazil. Maybe get the rematch. So let's see how the flyweight division. There's going to be a lot in flux over the next couple months with this whole Brandon Moreno situation. So let's see what happens, as they say. RDA, Brian Barberena. We all knew this was kind of going to happen, guys, right? I mean, Brian Barberena's a brawler. He's a beast. He's a scrapper. But we knew RDA clearly had the grappling advantage, and I had said in the breakdown it was going to be a decision or he was going to sub him. And that's exactly what happened. I mean, in round 2, got the submission, got it done. Very impressive performance by RDA. You love to see it. He calls out Conor McGregor. I mean, I don't mind the fight. If I'm McGregor, I'm not taking it. I'm not taking it with a grappling heavy guy. I'm going to fight a striker when I come back if I'm Conor. But we know he doesn't like RDA. RDA's still calling for that red panty night, so Maybe Conor will oblige him. Maybe that's the fight that happens. But personally, I don't see it happening. But hey, you can't blame RDA for trying. I mean, the guy's resume is phenomenal. This guy just fights killer after killer after killer. I mean, I was on Twitter the other day, and there's this common theme. Whenever RDA fights and whenever Dustin Poirier fights, people just post their resume. Oh, can you believe how stacked this is? I said, yeah, I believe how stacked it is. I watched their careers. I know they're killers. But those are two guys, whenever they fight, people somehow forget how good their resume is and then bring it right back up. But RDA, obviously one of the toughest competition resume almost of all time, just with all the killers he's faced. But I was glad to see him get the win, especially after his last time out against Fiziev. I think he said after that fight, I know I'm not going to be in title contention anymore, so give me fun fights. I want fun fights. So I was glad to see him get one. Speaking of fun fights, guys, what I tell you before this one, I said neither of these guys are in title contention. This is going to be two strikers brawling it out, and it was going to be great. And it was. Stephen Thompson, Kevin Holland. Oh, my goodness. First round was very competitive, but Holland, I think it was right that he won the round. He damaged Thompson bad. He had that right hand, boom, right on the forehead. And Thompson was seriously hurt. He got cut up pretty bad from some of Holland's elbows too. Great first round for Holland, but looking back, I think that's when he said he broke his hand. It was in that first round, and he won the first round. But from then on out, it was Stephen Thompson's fight. Don't get me wrong, Holland had his moments, but what I tell you guys in my breakdown, I said if it's going to be a stand-up fight, there are very few people, if not no people, that I'd just take over Stephen Thompson. I mean, yeah, Pettis knocked him out, but other than that, we have seen him, when it's a striking match, he's beat some great guys. Jeff Neal, Vicente Luque, he teaches him lessons, and he did a great job last night with Kevin Holland, guys. He was landing some great shots, and I think it was smart on Holland's fight. That fight wasn't going anywhere. It was the right way to stop. That hand was clearly really messed up. Holland was in a lot of pain. But he put on a great performance. Not a great hair job. He came out, I said, what are you doing, man? I love you, Kevin Holland, but I don't know what that is. But that's beside the point. But it was a great fight, guys. An awesome, awesome fight night. This is why we need all fight nights in front of people again. Get maybe 5 or 6 a year at the Apex, just for, I don't know, if it's not a strong one. But guys, bring fight nights back to live events. I've said it before. I'll keep saying it until it happens. You need to bring them back. And last night's why. The two best fight nights we've had all year were in person. First London card, this one. Just awesome. You couldn't ask for anything better. Great fights all around. Obviously, the performance of the night bonuses went to Pavlovich, went to Delidze, and then fight of the night was obviously the main event, guys. It was an awesome card. I can't wait for next week's pay-per-view. I'm going to have another video later today, maybe upload tonight, maybe upload tomorrow, but we got an interview with a longtime UFC fan favorite, so I look forward to releasing that to you guys, and I look forward to next week's pay-per-view, and I'll have my breakdown for you at some point middle of next week. Have a great Sunday, guys. I look forward to speaking to you guys again soon.